Hello there, this is Sanket B, aka Gamer Service, and in this video, I'm about to show you exactly how to set up your own Unity game hosting server on your local machine and maybe on a laptop, and you wanted to allow other users to connect your game from the nationwide or maybe across the world, whichever is preferable to you, your side for the testing and development purposes. You might want to hold your game host server for on your own local machine. Now that falls into the multiple parts. I'm going to cover how to set up port forwarding, then adding firewall inbound, how to apply play.gg settings, server settings in Unity for server build, and client build settings for client build, and how to get those IPs and how to apply them, and how to prepare the client and server build out of the Unity, and how to set up everything. So anyway, let's just begin with the port forwarding. Yeah. So to port forward, first you have to open up your browser that you have, and let's say you 192.116.1 point. Maybe it's yeah, for me it's 1.1, and of course you have to add a login into that. Okay, let's log in, and once you do that, uh, there's a port forwarding section in your own where you add this UDP protocol with the uh, port from these port ranges. You keep and make sure your IP address. Now this is your a valid IPv4 address, as it says. Now how to get that? You type the command prompt, and you type, open the command prompt, and you say, yeah, IP config, and once you press enter, you'll get to list many IP addresses. One of them will be IPv4. You make sure copy that and put it in the notepad somewhere, because you're not going to need that often, and you put that over here, and this is the address you're gonna get right now. The way I host IP, I just add a range of sequence address, and I get that from the tunnels of this. Here you can see that over here, that 147.185.221.94 and 147.221.31. Now that's the whole range that I just added that anyway. So this is how at least you're gonna need and apply the settings, and this is how it's gonna be port forwarding. Now let's just look at the next part, is adding firewall inbound. To do that, I just type Windows Defender Firewall Advanced and go to inbound rules, and you click on a new rule, and then you go to port and say next and go to UDP, and then you add a particular port, and that has to be like 7777. Okay, then you press next, right, it asks you allow connection, and you do the next, and it will get added. I've also added 777 and 1998. Now why 19998? Because this is the port for hosting the play.gg on this machine, and that's this. I don't know I need it, but I just added it because most of the cases we're gonna need only 7777, so that's not gonna be a problem in any case. So this is the settings we get when you, how to set up this, by the way, play.gg. So if we talk about that, you're gonna come, if you're first time here or not, you just click on this new, again, new account wizard, and select your computer, and then uh, it would claim code. Yeah, you enter claim code, and this code you can get after after you have installed the play.gg, and you get that link over here, and if you press control and click over, it will open the browser, and that will give you code to claim, and once you verify that, you will be able to allow and such things. Now I have already set up this old stuff, so I'm not going to do that again. I don't need to do that yet again, but I'm going to show exactly what else settings required to do. Then you create your agent. Now creating agent doesn't be not a big deal, just create with all the default settings. There's nothing new in it. It's just process by click next, next is something like that, and then you click create a tunnel. Now create a new tunnel. Again, if you create a new tunnel, you can see that I'm keeping local IP default that comes with the default settings of the creating new tunnel on the site. I'm not changing it, but you can see over here local port. It's again changed to 7777. Now that is necessary. That is the most important case to have that local port over there. Now let's just go to over here, and you can see that once you create that tunnel, you will have this address. Now let me be clear with that. Here is your server network address. This is IPv4. If you're creating the server or hosting the server on your machine, that machine IPv4 address required to apply as a server network address in your network manager settings and port address for a server build. And if you're preparing client build, you're gonna need to have this. You see that 147 for this particular machine, play.gg. This is channel on my different machine. So if I'm preparing a client for that, yeah, I need to implement this IP4 address, this IP address, like 221.194, and with the port gonna be like 6149. But on this machine I have like 1992, which is right this one over here. So then because clients are gonna be connected on this play.gg on this app on this machine, right? So which is right running over here, and you can see that the port settings and the default that thing. Okay, so if I start my server, what's gonna happen? So I have built the server, and if I'm gonna start the server, my in and out is going to be calculated, right? So once that happens, you may confirm that your server is able to connect and your client is able to connect with the server open, right? And on the Unity settings, what I have to apply, just look at the network manager. Now this is with the uSurvival, which is with the mirror networking settings, and we're just quickly looking over here. This is the my server settings. You can see that right over here. But let's see, if I want to prepare client settings, then what it's gonna be? Well, you guessed it, right? This IP address, which is we get from this tunnel over here, right? That IP address is gonna be over here like this, and this port, which is 1992, which is also we get here after the colon 1998, and that is going to be over here. And by the way, this is UDP, so you have to use KCP transport. Yep. So this all, and after that you just go to press Ctrl Shift P and change from dedicated to Android or client, whatever you want to build, and then prepare a client build out of it. So this is how you're going to prepare and host your game on a play.gg, your own server host on your local machine, and prepare the client build with Unity and play.gg.